This is Carson Owers from the Boston Celtics, and you're listening to the Boiler Breakdown podcast hosted by Tanner Lee, Evan Webb, and Andrew Eiler.
What's going on, everybody? Tanner Lee, Evan Webb, and Andrew Eiler back for the second consecutive night in a row, a Boiler Breakdown podcast. First, we're coming at you tonight all about hoops, Boiler Hoops, 2020-2021 season set to begin on Wednesday when the Boilers take on Liberty in the what's it called? Space Coast Challenge?
I was just looking that up. Yeah, that's what
Space
I thought.
Coast Challenge?
Space Coast Challenge formerly was the Cancun Challenge?
Yeah.
Is that what it was supposed to be? Yeah.
Down in Orlando area, I believe.
I have no idea.
Emerald or something.
Yeah, and then 6 o'clock on CBS Sports Network. I know that.
Melbourne, Florida. That's what it is.
So Liberty Flames lined up for Wednesday. Joe Lunardi's got them projected as a 16 seed in his latest bracketology. And then win or lose, we're either going to play Clemson or Mississippi State on Thanksgiving Day. So we have a little history with Clemson in the past. So it'll be interesting. You guys remember when we played them down in the challenge that one year? I think it was the Baby Boilers freshman year, and Kramer smacked his head on the goalpost or the padding of the goal, and then he was out for like 3 games with a concussion.
Wasn't Clemson also the team? I think it was. So it was my sophomore year. So in 2012, 2013, when DJ Burgess went absolute nuclear from 3. Was that Clemson, the ACC Big Ten Challenge? I know I couldn't watch it because I lived in Wiley at the time, and I was doing a radio show like during the game, and I missed all of it. And so I was doing like a 2-hour radio show, but I'm pretty sure that was when DJ Bird went just off that game.
I think you're right. I completely forgot about that, but I think you're right.
I'm right from time to time.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that. I would have a tough time going back year to year and telling you who we played in the challenge.
Yeah.
We'll have to do that one of these days. But yeah, all about basketball tonight. Let's lead off. We had a little recruiting news today. Webb, you want to fill in everybody about another new addition to the Boiler basketball family?
Yeah. So we just wrapped up. Well, we assume we wrapped up the 2021 class, but we got a head start on the 2022 class. So it would be high school juniors about ready to start their high school season. I think it actually kicks off tomorrow for Indiana. The high school season, basketball season starts, but we got a commit from now playing for Homestead in Fort Wayne. He had moved from somewhere, I can't remember, somewhere in Michigan.
Like
Clarkston, Michigan or something like that.
Yep.
Fletcher Lawyer, Rivals has him as the number 130 or 135th player in the nation, 3-star. I know we're not really big on ratings for the most part, but I really suspect his ranking will go up. I think next summer, assuming he has a normal AAU summer. We'll see about that. But 6'5", 165 pounds. Homestead's going to have a freaking good team. They've also got Illinois signee Luke Goody. I think it's Homestead.
Yep.
Yeah. Former or alma mater of Caleb Swanigan. So Homestead's going to be they're going to have some shooters on that team. So that could be fun to watch as we get closer to the state tournament. But I mean, just an absolute dead eye shooter. I think he's been compared a lot to he's being a more athletic Dakota Mathias, kind of in the Dakota Mathias, Ryan Klein vein. I mean, he seems like he's a really smart player, pretty good defender from what I've kind of just saw. I mean, in just clips, but it's all highlights. So who really can take much from highlights? But he's an absolute, shooter. I know Painter has always, put an emphasis on getting the best shooters he possibly can, and I think he's got one, committed for one of the best shooters in the entire class. So hell of a start to a 2022 class, and I think we're probably going to have around, up to 4 spots most likely. So, I mean, it's never a bad thing to get one started right away. Especially when he's prioritized too.
Yeah, he was definitely a Purdue fit, as everybody's been saying. Fits Purdue culture perfectly, so that's perfect.
And I was just going to say his older brother is a junior on the Michigan State team.
Yep.
Suck it, Tom.
His final 6 were us, Nebraska, Michigan,
Notre Dame.
Nebraska.
Did you say Nebraska?
Nebraska. Yeah, the Big Ten schools were Nebraska, Michigan, and us, and then
Missouri.
And one was Creighton in that. I don't know why.
Kansas State or something like that, maybe.
They were both in Wesley's final.
Yeah,
but I don't know. But I was texting earlier with a big Purdue fan and a loyal listener of the Boiler Breakdown podcast earlier, Sheldon Coleman. His grandfather lives in the Fort Wayne area.
I've got the top six when you're ready.
And he texted me today that lawyer has killer shot making abilities. He says his grandpa's been following him close since he lives in Fort Wayne. He's pretty high on him. So good feedback from somebody else.
His final six were Purdue, Nebraska, Michigan were the Big Ten schools, and he had Missouri, Notre Dame, and Utah. The Utes.
Utes. Good get. I'm happy about it.
It's kind of like in the same kind of thinking back to Ivy when Ivy committed. Granted, he was going to his senior year, but he only had three big time offers between us, Notre Dame, and Butler. He committed right before his AAU season, and for sure he would have gotten a lot more high major offers. And you think, you wonder what Fletcher would get, next summer, assuming he has a normal AAU summer playing on Indy Heat, which always plays, the top tournaments all across the country. But not mad about him committing right away. So.
Yep. It's I don't know if anybody can see my shirt, but Death, Texas, Matt Painter also getting top players in the state over Archie Miller. So I want to add
Who
that.
Just also lost out on one of their 2021 targets. And that's unfortunate.
That's
unfortunate. The person they wanted more than Trey Kaufman, right? That's what they're saying.
Hate to see it.
Hate to see it.
Love it. So good way to start off the podcast with some good positive Purdue news. I think this podcast is going to be a little more upbeat than the one last night. Interesting one. But if you haven't listened to it, go back. We talk all about Purdue's heartbreaking loss to Minnesota and preview the upcoming game against Rutgers. So that's up there on wherever you're listening to this podcast at, which if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please give us a rating and review. That really helps us out. So, all right. Well, why don't we kind of recap the 2019-2020 Purdue basketball season? It seems like it was a decade ago.
Yeah, I've got it up.
I don't remember. There's so much that's happened in the last.
I know months. I was talking off right before we started recording, but going into last year, obviously it was the season after the Elite Eight run. Losing Carson Edwards, losing Ryan Klein, losing Grady Eifert. I think we were all. A lot of people were high on us going into last year. I think. Trying to think where a lot of people had us. I think everybody pretty much had in the top four.
I was gonna say 4 or 5.
But as I was saying before we started recording, was I was looking at last year was going to be kind of like not a rebuild but a reload. But I was really looking forward to 2020 this year, actually 2020, 2021, because we're going to have, which we'll get into, a senior Matt Harms, a senior Nogel Eastern. You're going to have Sasha was going to be a junior. Hunter was going to be a junior. Wheeler was going to be a junior. You were going to have obviously Newman and Gillis. Whether or not they were going to be sophomores or redshirt freshmen, we know at the time. And the Final Four was going to be in Indy, and obviously that's all changed. But so last year, definitely disappointing. We ended this season. As we all know, didn't even get a chance to play in the Big Ten tournament. We were supposed to play Ohio State on March 12th, but that was canceled shortly before the game tipped off. So we ended the season with a loss at home to Rutgers, a 3-point loss in overtime, which brought our season total to 16-15 overall and 9-11 in the conference. We were 11-5 at home. Which was obviously a much different year than we were all accustomed to. I think the previous year we went undefeated in Mackey, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, we did. So second time ever.
Yeah, 11-5 at home, 4-8 away, 1-2 on neutral courts. It was just, it was just a season marred with inconsistency. You had games like, obviously we kind of started out, I believe, I can't remember where we played, but we lost to Florida State.
There were some early games that got away.
Didn't we beat VCU?
Yeah, beat VCU.
Yeah, close game. Lost in overtime to Florida State. They had the Marquette game. They lost by 10, but I feel like
we were up 19
they were
and a
up
half.
Big. Yeah.
So the season started. We had
Texas.
The Texas was the first big game. We lost by 4.
We were up 6 with 2 minutes left in that one, I believe.
And
then Marquette.
Lost
and
by
Marquette
10.
was 4 days later when blew that one. Yeah, the big lead.
Then we went to the Emerald Coast Classic. kicked the crap. Well, I guess we played at home first for played 2 games first, but Chicago State and Jacksonville State just whooped on them. Then went down and beat number 20 VCU by 3 down in Destin, and then lost another overtime game, 63-60 to the much more athletic Florida State. Definitely a game we should have won, which was just frustrating. Then we came back home for the Big Ten ACC Challenge against, a rematch with Virginia, and just absolutely kicked the crap out of them, 69-40. I mean, that was a game. I mean, I think definitely looking back, it was.
So who went nuts in that game?
It was a little bit of vengeance, but at the same time, Sasha went nuts. It was one of those. It was a great MAC environment. A top 5 team coming in. I don't think they were truly a top 5 team at the time, but it's what their ranking was given then. Pulled the box score here.
Sasha had 6.
Sasha had 20 points.
6 of 10 from threes.
Yeah, Proctor had 16. Harms had 11. Hunter had 10. Sasha had 4 steals. Proctor had 4 steals. We had 12 steals in total. Shot almost. Shot 6 of 13 from 3, so it was just one of those games where everything was rolling in Mackey. But then as we went down, we had the 2 Big Ten games. We started out with Northwestern, Nebraska. We thought was the 2 easiest opponents to play starting the Big Ten season, and we split, beat Northwestern by 14, lost by 14 to Nebraska.
Yeah, Nebraska was 2-18 in conference last year. Yep, that was embarrassing.
Then we had a scary game going over to Ohio in December, but took care of business there, won by 18. Then we went to the ever so nice Crossroads Classic and lost to Andrew Butler Bulldogs here by 9.
Turned it off.
Is it time to talk about Butler? Talk about Butler now.
I turned that game off, I remember, at halftime, and didn't watch the rest. I do that quite a bit when the Crossroads happens. That thing.
Then we beat Central Michigan.
I like that event.
Well, you should like that event. One of your teams is always good at it. The other one's not. You got 2 teams through 4.
Except when they play each other, then it's just terrifying.
Yeah.
Then we had.
Don't have to worry about that this year.
Yeah. Minnesota game, won by 5 at home. Kind of reintroduced Big Ten season. Then we had probably one of the most frustrating games I've had, a game where I shut it off against Illinois at home, where they just, they just outmuscled us. Kicked
I definitely didn't watch the second half of that game.
63-37.
I was there. I had to.
Embarrassment. This was at Illinois.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you meant the one at home later. Okay.
I thought it was.
That wasn't good either.
Well, they both are awful last year against them.
Yeah. Then we go to the Michigan. We went to Michigan, which that was kind of the Trayvon Williams game where he just went off for like 30-something.
Missed that bunny at the buzzer.
Yeah, lost by 4 in double.
He had the 3 that hit the rim and popped up and went in. Yeah.
Yep.
Came back home. Came back home against Michigan State and just did what we did. 71.
That was the Boudreaux game.
Yeah, that was the Boudreaux game. Went out to Maryland, lost by 7. Came home against Illinois, lost by 17 at home.
Yeah, that was
Played bounced back against Wisconsin, won by 19.
That was before the Corey Trice not Corey Trice, Kobe King.
Transfer
quit, and then their whole team changed and they won the conference.
Yeah. Then we went out to Piscataway and lost on Rutgers. Came back against Northwestern, or came home against Northwestern, won by 3. Went out to Northwestern, won by 3. That was the Sasha.
Eric Hunter to Sasha. Yeah.
Yep.
That's right.
Then a weird game against number 17 Iowa where we just, unloaded on Fran's team 4-68.
I think that's the one I went to with you, Webby. That was the most fun. That was the best.
Yeah.
Fran.
Then a nice thing
quit.
Going down south to Bloomington for the Bob Knight game.
That was, I believe, our highest viewed. I'm positive that was our highest viewed episode we've ever done. Was that one? That recap of that game. Yep.
Everybody loves hating on IU.
Yeah. I mean, especially when you went down there.
Then came back home riding high against Penn State, lost by 12.
That was my most frustrating one because I felt like we were starting to roll, even though Penn State was good. I'm like, we got this, and then it was just like flat, and they couldn't mess that. And I Dread, if I remember correctly, was sitting there.
Yeah, we went on a little skid here after kind of because I know after we beat Indiana, it's like we're bounce back. Let's we have a chance to rattle off some games here. Lost to Penn State, lost at Ohio State, lost
at my birthday.
Lost at Wisconsin.
Close one.
Lost home against Michigan by 8.
Yeah, that was the one. That was awful.
Yeah, that was the one coming in that seemed like Purdue was going to have just because they played them so tough in Michigan.
Yeah,
all right, at Mackey, you got to get them.
Yeah.
Yep, couldn't get done. Then we had a get right game with Indiana, 57-49, just a kind of a knockout, drag out fight. Then the last high we had was against Iowa in Iowa.
Beautiful.
Just pouring on them. They don't play defense, 177-68, and then we had the Rutgers loss.
Yeah, in overtime, which that was a killer because it felt like if we won that one, maybe we could get a game or two in the Big Ten tournament and sneak into the NCAA tournament, which of course didn't happen. But definitely ended the season on a sour note, and it was a very frustrating year.
I forgot how up and down the season was. Like I totally forgot. Like I remember, I totally forgot about the early losses to Texas and Marquette. The Marquette one I think was the most frustrating. That's
my team.
And then just dominate like Virginia. Just dominate. I forgot about the Iowa game.
Yeah.
I knew sweep. I remember sweeping IU. Obviously, it's great. Mm-hmm. Just a lot of like up and down.
There's a lot of highs, a lot of lows.
Yeah, just a lot of just like
5 losses in Mackey. That doesn't happen.
Yeah, win by 30, lose by 30. Like,
I think that was just a big product of lack of true leadership. I mean, obviously we expected the juniors and Harms and Eastern, who had played a lot of minutes over the course of their careers, had played in massive games, and this wasn't there. Whether or not it was their fault or not, I don't really. I mean, we don't have to get into that. But then you go into the off season. And then we had the surprising news. It was Harms announcing he was going to do a 5th-year transfer. He was graduating, and he was going to do a graduate. So that was a shock. And then I think there was always for whatever reason, there was always rumors that Nogel was going to transfer just because of things he was doing, or his mom was posting stuff online or whatever. And eventually that rolled around. I didn't look at the date when it happened because I don't really care. But he announced he was going to transfer. Then he was going to go to Michigan. Then he wasn't going to Michigan. Committed to Michigan. Then now he's over at Howard. So I mean, obviously going to this year, those are definitely our 2 best defenders. Harms is a great rim protector. Nogel, given for what he lacks in offense, which is a lot, he makes up with, and he's a really good defender and being able to guard really 1 through 4 very, very well, which definitely left a lot of question marks. But then you throw in that we had that was a lot of question marks, but then we had a lot of excitement coming into this year with not only Jaden Ivey and Ethan Morton and Zach Edey, but throwing in 2 guys in Brandon Newman, who I keep forgetting about for some reason.
He might start Wednesday.
Yeah, I think he's going to start Wednesday.
I think I've got him in my starting 5
because he's going to add a necessity. But he's only going to have 8 players.
So
it's 8 scholarship players.
Freaking 0-2 already without.
So it's I mean, it was obviously a crazy offseason for outside of basketball, and obviously the season kind of getting turned on its head and starting late than it was supposed to, and we should already be a handful of games in, but I'm just ready to get this season started.
Yeah, the season's going to be unlike anything we've ever endured, college basketball related. I mean, we see it in football, but unlike football, there's going to be pretty much, I guess that's false because I know Butler's having 25%. I was going to say there's going to be no crowds across the landscape, but a few teams are still going to have some.
Yeah, Isabel and I got tickets for Wednesday night to go see Butler just because.
I kind of hate you right now. But Big Ten's going to have no crowd. There'll be fans or families, I believe, of staff and players, but that's going to be like 100 people at most because your team's made up of 12 dudes, not 90.
Right. And you have some people who, someone like Ethan Morton, he's across the country, he's a couple hours away.
Right.
Maybe for like Saturday games, but
right.
I expect, Mr.
It's going to be so bizarre. I think I'm preparing myself for a weirder viewer experience than football.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think you see the the crowd isn't as big on TV, I guess. You'll hear them occasionally, but it's not. But the field's so big, and the benches and the players are so big. That's what you see.
Mm-hmm.
College will be interesting, just because I think you'll hear the coaches a lot. I mean, you'll hear them occasionally, like when at the home team the crowd gets quiet, and you'll hear Painter, you'll hear the shoes squeaking. It's gonna sound like a scrimmage, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna. Yeah. Like if you see, you're gonna hear shoes, you're gonna hear Painter yelling, you're gonna hear the other coach yelling. I think it'd be cool.
It's gonna come down to coaches, who can outcoach the other one. Which I mean, that's part of normal basketball, anyways. But you're not gonna have, you could have a trap game against a Ball State, and if you're playing like crap, you might just play like crap the whole time and lose. You can't depend on that crowd to raise your level of play and get you going. The guys are gonna have to bring their own energy. The coaches are gonna have to motivate them to bring the energy. It's going to be fascinating in that regard. But man, Purdue's got to be one of the probably top 10 teams in the nation that this not having fans affects the most, I would think.
Oh, I don't know. I guess
I would think so.
I think so. Yeah, I think Mackey's for
Mackey's pretty special.
Points. Yeah.
Oh, definitely, I agree.
But and the team's so young.
Yeah. I mean, that was the thing too. Is like, you had a team we saw last year that struggled with those inconsistent. Sometimes bringing the energy. I feel like sometimes we just didn't have games where we were as up as we should be, whether it be a road game or maybe a neutral site game where there wasn't as many fans. We didn't have the Mackey crowd behind us. And that kind of worries me going into this year, just because, again, I mean, obviously those guys are a year older, but it's, like I said, we can't depend on, when Sasha nails a three of, the place going nuts, it's just going to be just like a scrimmage, like Andrew said.
Nope. Yep. And I think I'm already preparing myself for, I think this season's going to be a lot of growing pains. Yeah. Take some bumps early and often probably, and hopefully get better as the year goes on. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's hard on paper not to already look forward to next year and get very excited in the next few years with the loaded roster, but we got this year to focus on first. Mm-hmm. Like you said, we only got a handful of non-conference games instead of the usual gauntlet.
Yeah, we've only got, let's see here, we start off with Liberty, and then obviously Clemson or Mississippi State, and then we come back to West Lafayette against Oakland.
That is a rare Tuesday, December 1st, 3 o'clock game.
Yeah, 3
on the
p.m.
Big Ten Network.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Good reason to leave work early, Tanner.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put Rob Blackman and Bobby Buckets on the earbud in my earbuds. So
I didn't even mention that. Yeah, the Cliz is hung it up, which was sad to see. But
yeah, I wish he could have stepped away in more appropriate a setting that he deserves. Full house, giving him standing ovation, and everything. But not the best.
Then we play Valpo December 4th or Friday.
I hate playing them. I hate it.
We may end up seeing a couple of these teams multiple times, depending on how how things shake out.
Yeah, we talked. What school out east? Is it Boston? Is that what we decided?
Oh, it was Boston University and somebody are playing like 6 times a year.
That's just like home, away, home.
Definitely got to be some fights in that series.
Yeah, we play Miami in the Big Ten ACC Challenge down in Miami on December 8th, a Tuesday.
Played them a couple years ago in Mackey. Yeah.
Yep. Who was their point guard that they had that was pretty good?
Larkin.
Yeah.
He went to Dallas Mavericks, and I don't know where he's at now. Speaking of the Mavericks, real quick. The Midwestern Cowboy, Dakota Mathias, is not a Maverick anymore. He's a Philadelphia 76er, signed a 2-way deal. So congratulations to Dakota. That is awesome.
Yep, he deserves every shot. I mean, he tore it up with the Texas Legends. So they're getting an absolute dead-eye shooter. So hopefully.
And speaking of Pro Boilers, Etwan Moore signed a 1-year deal with the Phoenix Suns. So he's getting paid less than he did with the Pelicans, but Twan's on the move again and keeps his career going. So that's all you can ask for, being the 55th overall selection back in 2011. We're pretty great to keep going.
Then we wrap up. Oh, no, just kidding. We don't wrap up our non-conference. We have a home game against Indiana State on Saturday, December 12th.
Bucket Day. Yep,
Bucket Day. Then we start conference with Ohio State December 16th on a Wednesday. And then we go to probably what will be the last year of the Crossroads Classic against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish on Saturday, December 19th. And then, I think is this the first time ever we've got a Christmas Day game? So
Yes, that I know of.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I thought we had one. I thought we went somewhere else early that week before we played Maryland at home. I thought we went to like Iowa.
Oh yeah, Iowa. Yeah, Iowa.
Which is our only time playing Iowa. I thought the Big Ten schedule makers are very generous that Purdue only has to play Iowa, Illinois, Wisconsin, and Michigan once. We do only get Northwestern once, but you get probably the top 3 dogs once, and Michigan's going to be pretty good too. So
now we're playing again. We're not playing with fans, so it doesn't really matter.
Sure,
but at Iowa, at Champaign,
you still have different rims, different shooting backgrounds. But you don't have the crowd. So.
Yeah. We play Michigan at home, and then what was the other? Was it? So it was Michigan, Wisconsin. Was that it? And Wisconsin at home. It's the second to last game of the year. So.
Yep, get everybody else twice. I know Indiana's the last game of the regular season, which is nice.
Yeah, because they haven't ruled out fans.
Mm-hmm.
If something changes and we're able to have fans, that would be a hell of a game to have fans for.
Sure would. It's hard to imagine, which it probably will happen, at least at Assembly Hall in January. Say both these teams are ranked and empty house. That's just nightmares.
I mean, when was the last time both teams were ranked? I know 2 years ago they were ranked because that was that was right at the start of their
I want to say it was the last time we lost in Bloomington back in 2016.
Because of the stupid goaltending call on AJ Hammons.
I would think we were both ranked then.
I mean,
I think so, yeah.
I hope for no fans at Assembly Hall just to hear Painter ripping the refs, just because I'd be intrigued to hear what he says, because he's going to get screwed. I mean, he's pretty going to get hosed. So
I would be interested. I could see a cupcake or two giving Indiana all they want with no fans at Assembly Hall.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I mean, they're a team that's going to struggle, or not struggle, but could struggle with no fans. I mean, I know when they played, especially with the ACC Big Ten Challenge, when they have they had Florida State at home last year, when they have a North Carolina.
You play Florida State again, I think, this year.
You guys haven't. Joey Brunk is going to bring the energy.
Terrible.
But you think about them. I feel bad for. I don't feel bad for Illinois fans.
I don't feel bad for Illinois. I just had to go through a podcast talking about Illinois for half the freaking thing.
But they finally have. Powerhouse this year, and of course they can't have fans. So that's sucks to suck.
I got them number 2 in the Big Ten. I'm not giving the satisfaction of saying they're going to win it. I got them number 2.
Iowa.
I got Iowa winning the Big Ten.
In the same boat. I refuse to pick them because I refuse to believe in Iowa until they prove me wrong.
Well, they're 97th in defense, but they should be able to score so many points. You add Bohannon back to the mix of all those guys returning. They should be really good.
Yeah.
Wisconsin should be good too. I know they're a weak Big Ten defending champ, but they get all 5 of their starters back.
Mm-hmm.
So.
You look at someone like Rutgers, they ended the year ranked, so
they'll be good.
They'll be good. I think the Big Ten is going to be fun this year. It's just a shame that we don't get to see it with fans, because these could be some awesome games.
Would you guys want to hear my predictions for the Big Ten real quick?
Let's go.
Some of these are probably not going to agree on, and that's fine. I'm a little bit mad at myself on some of these, but I have Iowa 1, Illinois 2, Wisconsin 3, Michigan State 4, Rutgers 5, Indiana 6. I hate that. Ohio State 7, Michigan 8, Boilers 9, Maryland 10, Minnesota 11, Northwestern 12, Nebraska 13, and Penn State 14.
Yeah, Penn State's a dumpster fire right now.
I think those last 3 are by far the worst. Penn State, Nebraska, and Northwestern. Penn State's got no head coach.
Who is it? Pat Chambers resigned 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, they got their interim guy who used to coach I think at Duquesne, but
hey, honestly, that worked out. That worked out pretty well for Butler. Chris Holtman, that's how he came in.
Yeah, Penn State's one of those teams that not having a tournament killed them last year. Lamar Stevens is finally gone. Mike Watkins is finally gone. He looked like he's 45 since the day he stepped on campus.
Did Stevens get picked up by anybody? I don't think he get drafted, but
I don't know.
So I was surprised he didn't get drafted.
I can't believe you got Ohio State up there. Ugh.
Oh, they're ranked
That bum.
23. They lost a lot, though. They lost like 4 or 5 guys, but they got 2 or 3 transfers.
Yeah, I know.
Got a question here on Periscope from Ian Bullock. Just beat the Michigan schools. Can't stand them or their fans. Doesn't help that I live in Northern Michigan. I apologize that you live up there around those fans because we don't like them either. Michigan State's pretty much the worst, and Michigan's really starting to get on my nerves too.
Yeah.
Definitely don't like Michigan football.
How bad would it have been if No Gel actually would have somehow gotten into Michigan and gotten like a waiver?
It'd been fun to play against them.
Yeah, I mean, especially
but without a
like
crowd on
starting
Mackey,
point
that
guard.
kind of would have been a bummer because I was envisioning the full crowd just booing them, unlike anybody's got booed, which is too bad. I mean, but yeah. So, but like you said, Webby, I think the Big Ten's going to be loaded. A lot of good returning players, a lot of good teams. I can see 9 teams getting in the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
But what's going to be fascinating is the Big Ten still got the 21-day rule for basketball. If a guy tests positive,
That's a huge
going to miss
chunk.
a lot of games. Could change the whole race of the Big Ten. Does the NCAA take that? I think they got to take that in consideration when seeding teams.
I
don't
mean,
know.
I was
I don't
thinking
know.
if you see, hey, what's it going to be if like are they going to miss like weeks of games? Because if you get 5 guys or 6 guys that test positive.
If that happens, I think you almost still, of course, you can play basketball just 5 guys, but yeah, I think
I don't know if they'd make a
postponement,
team play.
cancellations,
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
gonna be nuts.
if you get there's 12, 13 guys on the roster, they're all in practice together. If one of them tests positive, I mean, they're all exposed.
Like 4 or 5 of them live together at a time. It usually.
Yeah,
They're
so-
all right across the street usually.
I don't know. This is.
I'm
I hope
nervous
it
about
works out. I'm
Yeah.
I'm not too optimistic. I hope it works out, but
I'm
I don't know.
nervous
If
about
this is,
The NCAA's got to find a way to get to the tournament and make a tournament happen. They can't
That-
afford
that's
it.
like where something like especially some teams like the Big Ten, where it's such a brutal schedule. Like it could help because some teams may just have to shut down or whatever. Where you're just eliminating the pool of teams to choose from.
it's like a survival pool there.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of luck. I mean, we talked about that in football too. It's a lot of not only talent, like who's the best, but who gets lucky from a health standpoint.
Yeah, I mean that's the same with every year. There's injuries
Mhm.
sometimes. As we've seen in the past, we've
already seen this year for Purdue. Eric Hunter Jr. is out for it sounds about probably 4 weeks. It might not be the total 6. And Ethan Morton's trying to come back right now for mono, and Emmanuel Dewan is out with pneumonia. So we're down to 8 guys already. So, geez, I feel like we're already at
8
disagreement.
scholarship. Yeah.
Hey, we got Chase Martin. We got the
Konzo Martin. We're gonna see.
Let
He's
it rain.
a freshman walk on. We're gonna need him. Liberty. I mean, Liberty won 30 games last year.
I know they're projected 16th seed in Lenardi's bracketology. They're not a pushover. I mean,
is there a line? I saw a line for the Butler game, and I was pretty disappointed.
who's the Butler play, Andrew?
Butler plays Western Michigan.
Oh, okay. Mac, that could be scary. It's a MAC opponent. You never know.
Butler is -1. Butler
Oh my
-1.
God. I thought they could be like -15 or something.
I don't have a line on this. The only line I have for Big Ten games is I've got Penn State 14 over Drexel.
Nope. Dragons.
Maryland 6.5 over Old Dominion.
Hey,
I don't
that's
know
a scary opponent.
who does Maryland even have? I forget. They don't have sticks.
I got you.
Turgeon.
They have Turgeon, so they're gonna blow.
I got
up.
my notes.
So yeah, you're the one who did the podcast.
I should know this off the top of my head, but they lost Cowan and Sticks, but they have Eric Ayala returning.
Yeah.
Darrell Marcel. They got a few transfers. They got Galen Smith from Alabama, Laquan Smith from I couldn't read that earlier. Dante Scott's back. Aaron Wiggins is probably going to be their stud. So
Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah,
they would like to think. So that's one thing I noticed. The Big Ten got more transfers than I've ever seen this year.
Well, did Nebraska just come?
Oh my God, they got like 8.
Yeah,
well,
they
they didn't have. Well,
transfer.
last year they didn't have any. Like they're all transfers last year too.
I wrote down 3, and then co-host of my other podcast wrote down like 3 or 4 other ones. So they got a ton. Yeah,
They buddy
And
of
a
mine is a
5-star
Nebraska
kid, too.
fan, and they're Well, he's next year, right? He's not on the team this year, right?
you're right. But his brother is transferring from Pittsburgh there this year, Trey McGowan's. So Bryce McGowan's is the 5-star for next year. I think, unless he's there this year.
No, he's a 20.
Yeah, Trey McGowan's is there. I don't know if he's eligible. He's on the roster.
Wait, what?
Trey McGowan's is on the roster.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh,
But
yeah.
like Ohio State, they got Seth Towns from Harvard, Jimmy Sotos from Bucknell, and Julie Suing from Cal. I mean, they picked up 3 transfers, but they also lost both Wessons, DJ Carton, Luther Muhammad, and Alonzo Gaffney. So they had a lot of departures.
Did he go to Marquette?
Yes.
That's right.
Yes. So, I mean, there's a lot of new faces around the Big Ten. Michigan's got some new guys in the top recruiting class, too. Because they got Mike Smith from Columbia and Chandez Brown from Wake Forest. So, like Michigan State, one of the Hauser twins, he can play. He's got to play against his brother on Virginia in the ACC Big Ten Challenge. So. But
the Virginia one's better, isn't he? He's like a Player of the Year candidate.
Yeah.
I can't keep them straight. I don't know.
It's got to be interesting. But
sorry, I'm still lost in the Nebraska roster and figuring out where all these guys came from.
Oh, it's all over the place.
Like one of them came from the National Institute of Sport Expertise and Performance.
Is that Teddy
France.
Allen?
No, that's Yvonne Oderaguogo.
Teddy Allen was West Virginia and a JUCO. So they got Kobe Webster from Western Illinois.
There he goes.
Well,
Ivan
there's already been a Big Ten game canceled already. The Northwestern Prairie View game was supposed to be on Wednesday. It's been canceled.
That's
I don't know why.
I know Duke's postponed already. I know Baylor, Illinois.
Well, isn't there someone going down to Florida to play? They don't even know who they're playing yet because of there's
Arizona State.
Yeah.
Yep, there's some situations it's just a crap show.
It's gonna be bonkers.
It's awful. So, but it's here. Basketball season is upon us. If we're ready or not, it starts in 2 days. It doesn't feel like it, but it is here. What are some questions you're wondering about this Purdue team?
Who's gonna pass the ball to Travion, and is it gonna be better?
Ethan Morton.
I know. Is it gonna be once he's back? I mean, I mean, like we talked about this, I think offline about. So. We talked about this about.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I think we talked offline about like how Ethan Morton and Dakota Mathias so eerily similar, and how I think Morton coming back from mono. I'm pretty sure Mathias had mono his like freshman year before the season, and that kind of gave him weak until I think around the first of the year. It seemed like now we're starting a little later, but sounds like Morton's close, but. I agree. I hope it's Morton. Yep. I hope Ivy. I hope I get to see Ivy. But
I read today where Ivy's there. He's struggling to learn the one because
on the fly.
They're just trying to make him learn the two. So that's a little nerve wracking with a young guy going to be handling the ball. But
I want to know if Travion can play 30 minutes. That's
going to have to. I think
I looked it up. He played 22 a game last year.
Yeah.
So 8 minutes is kind of a big jump, but not really. I mean, he doesn't have to split with Harms. I don't know how much of that last year was him splitting with Harms because Harms himself was a good player and they balanced each other as Harms being a good defender and Travion sometimes struggling to keep up with some of the quicker bigs. Hopefully he's worked on that. I'm sure he worked pretty hard. I know they all had long off seasons and I'm sure they had their assignments and Travion's was probably foot speed and conditioning and get ready to play. I hope so because he could be a beast if he can play 30 minutes.
Does he lead the team in scoring?
Yes.
Per game, points per game.
Yeah. I would have said Hunter could have pushed him, but now Hunter missing some games, and then I think that kind of gives some growth to some of the other guards to kind of not take a spot, but just kind of take a bigger role than they may have had the opportunity if Hunter was there the whole time. Yeah. Which is not a bad thing. I mean, I think it's just more experience the first 3 weeks or so.
What let me see if I can look this up. Individual. How many did Travion average last year? He
like 12 or something.
I was gonna guess
11 and a half.
No.
That's what he averaged last year. So what do you think if we all agree that he's going to lead us in scoring this year? What do you think he'll average?
I was hoping about 14.
Yeah, I was thinking 14.
If he can make his free throws, then that should be a huge jump. He shot like 45% from the free throw line, and what did we say in the scrimmage that they had a couple weeks ago? He went like 13 for 14 or something.
Which could lead just like we saw with No Gel 2 years ago, being able to knock down free throws made him more aggressive. So you think the same thing with Trayvon, just attacking the basket more. Hopefully, he's got the confidence, but I think if he can average 14, 15, we got something special there.
I just hope they can get him the ball because even if he's not scoring, he's maybe the best passer on the team, especially if I'm in the middle. It's got to go through him, especially with young guards and without Hunter. It's kind of a lot to ask Ivy or Newman or somebody on a guard who hasn't played to kind of create offense.
Who leads the team in 3-pointers made? I think we know Webby's answer.
Oh my god!
No.
It's gonna be Sasha, but if you say Aaron Wheeler, Webby, you're off this podcast.
Hey, Matt did say he's been shooting it really well lately today in this press conference.
That's to boost his confidence.
No, I think it's gonna be Sasha.
Okay, yeah, I agree. I was gonna go Brandon Newman, but I'll go Sasha. I kind of forgot about Sasha. I hate to say.
I think Sasha's just going to get more opportunities. I hope Morton. Oh, okay. In total, sorry, not Morton. Newman. You're saying like total 3-pointers or actual 3-point percentage?
No, total.
I think
total threes.
Sasha shot 38% last year. Is he going to get over 40? I feel like he was kind of hot and cold last year.
He was hot and cold.
He was hot at home and.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he couldn't miss a match. Hit anything. Isaiah had that really good shooting game up at the Kohl Center last year that got him going a little bit.
Sasha made 64 threes last year. No, sorry, 64 for what he shot 167.
I'm afraid Isaiah might kind of become the lost guy. I hope not.
I don't think so. I think this
not anymore.
I think with Hunter going out, I think this is a time for him to absolutely. I think he'll get the nod just because.
I think he starts Wednesday, but
yeah.
I mean, if they're talking about Ivy playing the 2, who's playing the 1 outside of Thompson? I mean, was Hunter playing the 1? Morton, I think, but Morton's hurt too right now, and who knows? I mean, he hurt sick, conditioning, getting his strength back.
You're starting 5 on Wednesday.
Right now, I think it's Thompson, Sasha, Newman, Wheeler, Williams.
Oh, that's my 5. Damn it.
I think Ivy starts. I think it's Thompson, Ivy. I think Ivy at the 2.
I think he gives the nod to the older guys, just for this first game.
Except Newman.
Well, yeah, but he's also been around for a year.
Yeah, so is Thompson.
Yeah.
So.
Who was your 4, Tanner? Wheeler?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
I think the lineups could change a bunch as the year goes on. I mean, Hunter's got to come back. He'll slide in the 1, and I could see Martin starting eventually if he's cracked up to be. Yeah. I think Trayvon's pretty safe to start at the 5 as long as he stays healthy.
Yeah.
But I'm encouraged to see what Edie does. I mean, he's 7'4". I just want to see him out there.
It is a little scary to think that if one of those 2 guys hurt or gets COVID, Purdue doesn't have a backup center.
We got
we'll get Manny when he gets healthy.
Yeah, okay, but who knows if that happens like next week?
Yeah,
probably Wheeler as your 5.
Mason Gillis. I think Gillis will play the 5.
I'm intrigued by Gillis. I keep forgetting about him too. And Purdue's got a lot of depth. Should have a lot of depth. That's exciting. Just so the unknown. The unknown. That's what makes me nervous. That's why I had us 9th in the conference. I mean, I could see us getting 7th pretty easily, maybe even top 6, but I just don't know. I haven't seen 5 of these guys play. So no seniors. I mean, even though nobody loses. I mean, think about this. This isn't going to happen. I mean, this could really screw up scholarships, but we're going to get hopefully everybody back next year. Hopefully nobody leaves. Then what if nobody wants to leave after that? We get everybody back to next year. 3 straight years with pretty much the same team, adding first in Kaufman Wren, and then Lawyer would be the next year, right?
Yeah, as of right now we got 4 scholarships, but if that happens, that could really screw with scholarships because right now, assuming
gonna have some old seniors.
Oh my man!
You're talking Wheeler and Sasha will be there for like 6 years or something like that, 5 or 6 years.
The Torrey Williams of the basketball team, Jason Warner of the basketball team. It's gonna be interesting.
So I guess who do you have? I would assume it's safe to say Williams and Hunter are your top 2 scorers.
Yeah.
Who do you think emerges as the 3rd?
I'm going Newman. I keep hearing good things,
Newman
so
well.
I'm excited about his potential. Do it. I see the look on your face.
Newman or Ivy.
I'm going Wheeler.
I knew it. I saw the look on his face.
I think.
Yeah, I rolled for Andrew.
Oh gosh. Webby, do you want me to read you his stats from last year?
You can go ahead. Go ahead.
Let me find him at the bottom of the box score here.
I love it.
He's gonna have a Keaton Grant-like year going to his sophomore year. Granted, this is gonna be his junior year, but he's gonna bounce back. I think, yeah. He's worked with Raphael. I think he is destined for a fantastic season.
I hope so. I would love to see it.
I will eat crow, but I am a massive Aaron Wheeler fan.
Who was it? Was it Dockich? Was it Dockich that said he's going to be an NBA player?
Kevin Durant like.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I hope so. I could see it. I'd love to see it.
Yes, we hope you're wrong, Andrew. On
I agree.
the podcast. But.
I think he's the surprise of this year. I mean,
I hope so.
I think a lot of people are banking on I'm not sure if I would call Ivy or Morton a surprise because I think we're all just expecting it, but I would still call them a surprise if they have.
Oh, sure, they're freshmen. I mean,
True
there's a big learning
yeah.
curve.
Yeah, I think Wheeler has a big year, but that's also.
I hope so.
I'm incredibly biased, so
I will predict Ivy has a big game in the Crossroads against Notre Dame.
that'd be cool.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
that one.
make it.
I got a question for you. What? Who replaces the Tommy Luce victory cigar this year?
Ooh.
What walk on?
Martin.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, he's going to be a fan favorite with his dad already.
Oh, I know, but he's a freshman. So is there an older? I can't think of who the other walk-ons are.
Jared
Wolburn.
Yeah, he's a junior. You've got
He
Matt.
played a little last year.
Yeah, he played a little bit. Frost has been there a little bit.
Sophomore.
Carson Barrett's new. I think.
Well, the bad thing is, none of them are going to get popular this year because there's no crowd.
That's true.
I mean, and nobody's
That's
on
true.
Tommy Luce level, man.
I know.
I mean, Bobby Buckets was always the fan favorite for the walk-ons until Luce blew that out of the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because he was out there just crossing over, chucking it up.
Chucking it up. Yep.
That's exactly what he should have been doing.
New walk-ons this year are legacies. You got Carson Barrett. His dad Dave played for Purdue from '88 to '91.
Wasn't there a Barrett that went to like Northwestern that wasn't the Purdue legacy, was it? The guy, I think he always wore like a headband or something. There's a big guy. I know Purdue recruited him. He's from Illinois, so maybe not because this one's from Lafayette. I don't know who I'm thinking
Barrett's 6'5", played at Central Catholic. His dad was teammates with Coach Painter, so I think we know how he got that role.
Well, it's like Tommy Luce's dad and Painter are good buddies, so
yeah.
And then Conzo Martin's son.
he could have probably went to Missouri, but he
Oh, yeah.
probably doesn't know how secure his dad's job is there either. So
Well, he says here he chose Purdue because he wanted to go to a good engineering school and he loves the coaching staff. So
awesome. Hey,
he was named all conference and all district as a senior, district title as a sophomore. He was valedictorian. So
I think he's the only guy, if I saw this graphic correct, that doesn't have Twitter on the team. Everybody's got the handles of Instagram and Twitter, and he's the only one that doesn't have Twitter.
probably a smart move. Just
Probably.
given his dad being a head coach.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, good point. Good point.
Yeah.
So I was thinking of Barrett Benson for Northwestern, whose dad played tight end at Purdue.
Mm.
He is a 6'10" senior.
We don't get legacies when it comes to football very often.
Oh no, he's a Northwestern center,
Cole Kmet,
for
that still ticks me off.
basketball center.
I forgot his dad played for us.
So did his uncle, Jeff Zugino.
That's true, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, when did he,
That was Hazel years. Why would you want to come out and dump something?
yeah, no.
He had a chance to go to Notre Dame.
From Notre Dame, yeah.
Oh, I don't want to talk. This isn't a football podcast, so I don't want to talk about Notre Dame jumping in on recruits we're going after. Jerks.
Yeah.
Anything else to cover about basketball that I'm forgetting before start wrapping this thing up slowly?
I'm trying to think here. How long do you think Shrewsbury stays on staff?
Through next year.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I think the first year we had, I think whether it's this year or next year, if we have like a really good year. I mean, this year could be a lot like football, where it's gonna be hard to fire a coach unless you just drastically underperform.
They do have more games in basketball than football.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But I agree. But we've already seen it. South Carolina already gave
Muschamp.
the axe. So
Yeah.
Webby's sure that Harbaugh's on his way out.
So let's say let's say coaches, we do see some coaches go. Anybody in the Big Ten that seats hot going into this year?
Well, I would have said Pat Chambers. That's already.
I was kind of thinking that.
I thought he saved his job last year going to the tournament.
That's a
I got one in the Big Ten. How about Richard Pitino?
Yeah. I just feel like their expectations are pretty tempered there. I could see someone like Turgeon. I feel like they've always been.
He can recruit, but he can't.
He can recruit, but they just can't. The results just aren't there.
What if Fran, like with this great team, got knocked out in like the first round?
Yeah, absolutely collapsed. Like if that would be awesome. Is Collins still at Northwestern? I don't even know.
Yeah. I mean, he's pretty much a lifer for getting them to the dance, but his teams are getting worse.
Yeah, I could see if they have. I mean, I don't know.
I think he's got more time. I mean, we run through it. I mean, Rutgers definitely not.
Pikel,
I mean,
he's
on that way.
How about Archie? If they do really, really bad,
they would have to really, poop the bed as PJ Fleck. They'd have to read PJ Fleck's books and.
Let's not bring him up on this podcast either.
I just, I don't know.
He could have been a walk-on guard at Wisconsin.
Whoop-de-doo.
And annoying that role too.
I think
I don't know.
Yeah,
I want Archie to be there forever. Keep coaching circles around.
Fine with me.
I don't think there's really any.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, I'm trying to think even just nationwide. Man, I don't really.
How about Konzo at Missouri?
Well, about not going to get fired. What about Izzo? Is he going to retire here anytime soon?
No,
probably like 5 more years.
22 classes. I mean, he's got. I mean, next year's class he's got. Max Christie coming in, and then if this kid doesn't go pro, he's got Imoni Bates in 2022. Which there's no way in hell that kid plays a minute in college basketball. He's going to go.
Hope not.
I hope not either because he's really freaking good.
He's loaded. He's got that class loaded.
Yeah, it's stupid.
How about this scenario? Since the NCAA tourney, it's supposed to be originally in Indianapolis anyway. They're trying to maybe bubble it in Indianapolis, which means Duke's got to win it all because they win it every time it's in Indy. But say Duke doesn't win it, does Coach K retire?
Ooh,
he's getting up there. He's got some health issues.
How is he?
He's in his 70s, right?
Let's look him up. How do you spell that?
Just put Coach K. I mean, you got to be thinking him, Roy, and Jim Boeheim. They're getting to the end of the rope.
Krzyzewski is 73.
Yeah, I would say if he wins it all, go out on top.
Roy Williams. Anyone want to guess what Roy Williams is?
I'm gonna guess 70 on the dot.
Andrew.
I don't think he's that old. I think he's like 66.
Don't doubt the tan man. 70 on the dot.
Ooh. Oh, he looked that up.
No,
you're
like
the
J-Man. I see. Josh would look it up. He'd have a whole list, but I'm gonna guess Boeheim's like 72.
He's old. Yeah, I'm gonna bet he's 74.
Which I'm still surprised with that whole hit and run, not hit and run, but the accident thing. The accident, when he hit the guy and killed the guy on accident a couple of years ago, didn't hit and run. But
what were your answers for Boeheim?
72.
74.
What did you say, Tan?
72.
Ooh, Andrew was close to 76.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So who do you think? So if Coach K goes, but Roy stays, who do you think takes over at Duke?
God, because they always have good assistant coaches, but I don't know if any of them
would. Yeah, I think they'd pull from.
I would have said Collins a couple of years ago, but I don't think he's proved it. I don't think Brad leaves the Celtics. I think he's NBA for a while.
I don't know. Everybody's leaving Boston.
I know, but I mean that could be the job that pulls Brad out of the NBA.
Yeah. Which would
I don't know. I just don't know. It's always been Coach K in our lifetime, so I have no idea. I feel like they would.
I'm telling you, like an up and coming coach that's doing good things, but
I don't think this guy's done. He's done a good job at Harvard, but I don't think like Tommy Amaker.
Yeah, I mean
he did okay at Michigan's done well at Harvard, but I don't. That's a big jump.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a great question.
It could maybe like a Chris Holtman, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't
don't
think he's done
think,
that much.
No, but
I don't think like a Beard,
He's pretty good at recruiting. I mean, he's a good coach.
like Chris Beard. I don't think he's a fit.
No.
Shaka Smart's kind of wore off. He's not a fit either. His newness is wore off.
Bobby Hurley.
Ooh, the Duke connection there too. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that one.
That's a quick Google there of just.
That's smart though. I like that.
They'll probably want to keep it in the family of some. I mean, of some
Makes
sort.
sense.
Unless like they freaking promote, who's on the bench? Paul.
Is Shire still on the bench? Paulus isn't there. He's Paulus is somewhere else.
Shire. I think Shire is still on the bench.
I think Paulus is at Ohio State's bench. Greg Paulus, I think.
Google. Here we come. Great. This is a pretty podcast. We're talking about.
I know we've gotten way off track. But that's okay. But while you're looking that up, Webby,
wait.
the Boiler Breakdown podcast is sponsored by Mad Mushroom. Mad Mushroom serving Boilermaker since 1993. Mad Mushroom is located in the heart of West Lafayette and is well known as the home of the original cheese stick. Whenever I visit, I like to sit down and have an ice cold beer by trying out their latest pizza of the month, which this month, which you only got a week left, is the Mad Chili Pizza that has their signature hand-tossed dough covered in a house-made chili with onions, jalapenos, mozzarella, and cheddar cheeses, and finished with corn chips. You can get that for $13. But if you order a few more additional items and get your order over $20, tell them the Boiler Breakdown sent you for $5 off any order over $20. And you can also use the coupon code BREAK5, that's all caps BREAK5, to claim your discount online at madmushroom.com. Mad Mushroom, feed your head. And I also saw they're doing some Black Friday giveaways. I believe if you buy a $20 gift card, you can get an additional $10 gift card as well. So take advantage of that, but you got to go in there, the store itself, to get that. You can't get that online. So take advantage of that.
So I looked it up. Greg Paulus is a head coach.
High school?
Niagara University Purple Eagles.
Oh, news to me.
You asked how long Shrewsbury is going to be here. Do you see a former Painter player stepping on to staff if Shrewsbury or someone else does leave? Do we see
thinking Ray Davis?
Ray Davis. How about Kenny Lowe? Where's Kenny Lowe? What's he doing now? I know he's not a former Painter
Miami,
player,
Ohio, I believe, with Jack Owens.
Yeah.
How about Ryan Smith?
Yeah, I mean,
Down in Incarnate Word with Carson Cunningham.
Is DJ Bird still on this?
He's down at Mercer with
Gary.
Greg Gary.
Yeah.
The coaching tree's big. It's expanding. Yeah. So
I'm trying to think of who. Let's see here. Looking at the coaching staff.
Because not only Shrewsbury, Lutz is always a candidate. His name being passed around too. So
that was kind of when he jumped to Purdue a couple years ago. They thought it was 1 year, and then because it was kind of a lateral, not a lateral move, I mean slightly up.
Yes.
We think at the time as Purdue was kind of on the rise still, but
I can't see Brantley ever being bumped up to associate. I just don't see him being a head coach.
I don't think he has the connections.
Yeah. I would love Ray Davis. I love Robbie Hummel back on the staff.
I know that's what I was like.
I want to see Rob do some more commentating first.
Yeah, I like Rob.
I think he's got it. I think Robbie Hummel can turn into Kurt Herbstreit of college basketball. I really do.
Yeah,
I think he can be the face of college basketball, announcing a former player. Of course, Robbie was better in his playing career than Kirk was at football, but I think he has that potential.
Yeah, I mean, he knows the game. Obviously, he's charismatic.
Everybody seems to like his announcing style, even IU fans.
Yeah, he's not annoying. He's not biased.
Because I think Kirk's great. I think Kirk is a pro's pro.
I mean, your associates, Micah Shrewsbury. Your assistants are Steve Lutz and Brandon Brantley. It'd be weird if someone like Steve got promoted ahead of Micah, but I don't know.
He's been there longer.
Yeah, he has.
But
I like to have Micah on just for recruiting a little bit more.
Sure.
So I think he definitely helped us land us Kaufman with being able to talk, NBA.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those types of
definitely didn't hurt.
No. I'm looking forward to the season. I think it's going to be. I'm trying to temper my expectations. I think last year my expectations were a little too high. Kind of go into it just appreciating we have college basketball, but I know it's going to change come Wednesday at 6:00.
What would be a good season in your mind? What would make you happy at the end of the season? Saying everything goes smoothly and we get through the season.
I would be very disappointed finishing bottom half of the Big Ten.
Okay, so you're definitely expecting tournament.
Yeah,
I think that's got to be the expectation, even with the
turnover. I think. I mean, we're in Painter's. What year now? I mean, what year is he in now?
15, maybe 14, 13. The baby Boilers would have been like what, 06, 07?
His first year was 05, 06.
So you're 15.
I think he's in his 16th season.
Yeah, sounds right.
It says in just 15 seasons, Painter already ranks third on the school's all-time.
Yeah, he has 17.
I think that I honestly think this team's got to be a bubble team. I'm coming down towards the end, so I think making the tournament would make me very happy.
Agreed. I agree, but I still think that's got to be kind of the goal, the expectation.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the goal is to win the Big Ten, but I don't see that happen.
I agree. I don't think that's a realistic goal this year with how many newcomers and we're
Next
already.
Next year, perhaps.
That's still a lot with
it is.
2 freshmen, and then you'll have Morton and Ivy as just sophomores.
You're going to have a
Newman,
lot of seniors and a lot of juniors.
Yeah. Travion, Eric will be seniors.
Yeah,
I think. I mean, I think top half of the Big Ten is, I think, bare minimum.
I think for that I agree. I would say I would call that a pretty good season if Purdue's six in the Big Ten. That'd be phenomenal. But
I mean, you got some absolute juggernauts at the top.
I believe Lenardi has us as a 9 seed right now in bracketology. I'd take that right now and run.
I feel like I think this could really mirror. I mean, this is based off nothing, no facts, just simple opinion. I think this could mirror the 2014-2015 season where it's that 8-9, where we lost to Cincinnati. We'll probably struggle early on, but kind of pick it up towards the end as Painter's teams get better as the year goes on. I know we've got some tough games to start out. I mean, obviously, everyone's kind of in the same boat of no one's played any exhibition games, so it's kind of just throwing everybody right into the fire. But I mean, you get some, Liberty's a good team. I mean, Clemson. I don't know about Clemson, but it's still a Power 5 school. Potentially, if they win, they have no idea.
Or Mississippi State, Power 5.
Probably gonna be athletic, and I think we'll definitely take our lumps early on, as we tend to do. But I think I think at least top 7 should be what I think would be what I would be happy with. I say that
and beat IU twice.
Yeah, old.
Keep that going.
Yeah.
Brewer and another McDonald's All-Americans chance against Purdue.
Yes. And the Boiler Breakdown podcast is also brought to you by Webb's Family Pharmacy. Webb's Family Pharmacy is an independently owned community pharmacy with stores located in Rochester, Akron, and North Manchester, Indiana. Webb's is happy to announce that they are providing flu shots by appointment right in your car. Simply call to set an appointment, and their friendly and caring staff will be happy to help you. For all of your high-quality medical equipment, supplies, and pharmacy services, check out www.webrx.com or give them a call. Webb's Family Pharmacy, the professional pharmacy with the hometown touch. And last but not least, we got a second-year sponsor of the Boiler Breakdown podcast, and that is Sroufe Landscaping Nurseries. Sroufe Landscaping has been in business for over 50 years and can handle all of your landscaping needs, including landscape design, maintenance, irrigation, hardscaping, fall cleanup, and they are licensed lawn applicators. Contact them today for all of your landscaping needs at 574-223-2769. Sroufe Landscaping, design with you in mind. Any closing thoughts? I know next week's podcast is going to be loaded because we'll have football and basketball to talk about, which will be nice.
Yeah, I mean,
hopefully a couple dubs.
Yeah, sure hope so.
Crazy to think that. I mean, let's see. So by next Sunday, we'll have two
basketball games.
2 games to talk about. If we record before Tuesday, we'll have 2 basketball games. If we record after Tuesday, we'll have 3. in a football game. But I mean, I'm always excited for college basketball. It's gonna be a weird year, but hey, bring it on.
It's gonna be sad not to be in Mackey, definitely.
I'm gonna miss that more than Ross A, just because it's Mackey's pretty special.
Yeah, I've missed them both. It's just been for somebody like all of us who are lucky to go to the games and everything. It's been tough not going to live sporting events. It's really taking a toll on me, but it's taking a toll on a lot of us. So we gotta do the best we can without it. And hopefully, it's just this season, and we don't have to worry about it come next year.
So I might get my fix. Go to Hinkle just to get something.
I'm jealous of you, Andrew. Have fun.
I know.
That'll be a good time.
That was yeah.
Well, let's boiler up, hammer down, and beat the Flames, then either the Tigers or the Bulldogs.
Boiler up.